do women see the red flags and still choose to stay? You felt it too. The rush of love, the charm, the sweetness, and then the harsh words, the silence, the fear that creeps in. You remember the warnings, the stories you've seen before, yet hope pulls you back. Lily Bloom knows it well, and maybe deep down, so do you. When does loving someone become too dangerous? Imagine Lily Bloom arriving in Boston after her father's funeral, determined to start fresh. She opens her own flower shop and promises herself she'll never repeat the mistakes of the past. But right from the start, Colleen Hoover hints that things aren't going to be easy. On a rooftop, at the very end of her father's eulogy, Lily has a chance encounter with Ryle Kincaid, a neurosurgeon. That very moment sparks a passionate romance. Lily, romantic and a bit idealistic, wants to see love as perfect. But reality quickly shows her that love can also be messy and painful. The story is told from Lily's perspective, like a personal diary, sometimes even as if she's confiding in Ellen DeGeneres. This lets us live inside her head, feeling everything she feels. When Ryle is kind, our hearts race. When he's angry, we feel her confusion and fear. Hoover's writing style is short, raw, and intimate, even using some swear words. But that honesty makes us connect deeply with Lily. But the story isn't just a sweet romance. Lily soon realizes that love and pain often come hand in hand. She falls for Ryle, the perfect man in her eyes, but he also has a darker side. This is when the real story begins. Lily learns that love alone isn't always enough. Sometimes, caring about someone means letting them go. Hoover carefully shows how abuse works. Lily grew up watching her father's anger towards her mother, followed by over-the-top apologies, and at first, she assumes Ryle will change too. But when his anger shows itself, whether through physical or emotional abuse, Lily gradually understands that she doesn't have to repeat her mother's fate. The key lesson is that Lily learns to take control of her own life. She claims her right to a better future for herself and for her future child. The story reflects that love can be beautiful and painful, but most importantly, it shows that we can break harmful cycles and create a life that's truly our own. In this story, emotions are never black and white. Alongside abuse, forgiveness, and resilience shine through. Lily is constantly torn between her love for Ryle and her fear of repeating the cycle she grew up seeing. Every time Ryle is kind after an angry episode, her hope and guilt flare up. She wants to believe in him, but deep down, she knows she has to prioritize herself. In her journal, she writes about needing to learn to love and respect herself enough to walk away from a toxic relationship. Hoover doesn't give easy answers, but Lily's choices show real strength. By the end, she breaks free and her story becomes one of empowerment. Lily Bloom starts hopeful and caring, determined never to love someone who hurts others. Falling for Ryle complicates everything. Her kindness and loyalty make her try to help him, even empathizing with his guilt over his brother's death, which blinds her to warning signs. By her mid-20s, she's juggling her business, marriage, and an unexpected pregnancy, all under Ryle's volatile behavior. When she finally tells him, "I love you enough to let you go," Lily transforms from an idealistic romantic into an empowered survivor. Ryle Kincaid is charming and devoted on the outside, but haunted by trauma and anger. He loves Lily and apologizes often, but struggles to control jealousy and rage. Hoover shows him as human and flawed. By the end, he faces the consequences. Lily leaves, his sister cuts ties, and he begins therapy, highlighting how love and trauma can collide. Atlas Corrigan, Lily's first love, is her symbol of hope. As a teen, he protected her during dark times and promised he'd return, though they lost touch. When he reappears after Lily's marriage, he shows consistency and support, helping with her shop, listening, and never judging. Atlas embodies gentle, respectful love, a stark contrast to Ryle's darkness. Hoover really helps us understand why Lily feels so torn. Atlas represents a kind of love that's calm, unconditional, and safe. Everything Ryle's intense, sometimes possessive passion isn't. By the end of the story, Atlas becomes a symbol of hope, reminding us that Lily can have the healthy, loving future she deserves. Then there's Rachel Bloom, Lily's mother. Her journey is quiet, but deeply important. Rachel stayed in an abusive marriage for years, believing it was just part of love. At first, Lily judges her for staying too long. But through journal letters and honest conversations, Rachel finally finds her voice. With Lily's support, she leaves her abusive husband, remarries a kind man, and starts over. Watching her mother break free helps Lily realize that these cycles can end, and that she has the strength to protect her own family too. There are a few moments in the book that completely change Lily's path. The rooftop meeting, Lily and Ryle meet on a rooftop and instantly connect. But right before she sees him, Ryle kicks a chair in anger, an early warning sign. It's a moment filled with excitement, but also quiet danger. Atlas reappears. On Lily's first date with Ryle, she unexpectedly runs into Atlas. Seeing him again brings back memories of a love that felt safe and real, forcing Lily to confront feelings she never truly let go of. The first hit. While cooking dinner, Ryle loses control and shoves Lily. She flashes back to her mother's pain and tries to excuse what happened, but something inside her breaks. From this moment on, everything changes. Rachel leaves. When Rachel finally files for divorce, it becomes proof for Lily that leaving is possible. It's painful, but empowering, and it plants a seed for Lily's own future choice. Birth and final choice. The most powerful moment comes in the hospital.
You're so
Lily holds her newborn daughter while Ryle asks for another chance.
so safe.
In that moment, Lily chooses to walk away for herself and for her child.
Try again, Lily.
It's the ultimate act of strength, and the moment the cycle finally ends.
If she grows up to
These
love a
scenes
man
aren't
like
just
you,
plot points,
what would I tell
they're
her?
emotional
It ends
turning
here.
points.
Leave, Ryle.
Hoover uses them to shape the story's
Make her
rhythm,
first memory a
love
lie.
and excitement, followed by pain and shock, and finally, clarity and freedom. Hoover's writing style is simple, but emotionally intense. Told in first person, present tense, the story keeps us close to Lily's thoughts and feelings. The journal entries, written to Ellen DeGeneres, take us back to Lily's teenage years and her first love with Atlas. Moving between past and present lets us clearly see how Lily grows, heals, and slowly learns to choose herself. One of the things Hoover does beautifully is using Lily's letters as a bridge between past and present. These journal entries connect Lily's childhood experiences to the choices she makes as an adult, turning her into a kind of diarist narrator. Through her private thoughts, we're gently guided to understand why she reacts the way she does. Hoover is also very intentional with pacing. She doesn't show every detail of Lily and Ryle's relationship. Instead, she focuses on the moments that actually matter, then jumps forward. This keeps the story tight and emotionally charged, without unnecessary filler. The language feels natural and conversational. Lily thinks in quick, sometimes messy fragments, especially when she's overwhelmed. Her thoughts and dialogue can be sharp, unfinished, even full of swearing, which makes everything feel real. As a reader, it often feels like you're right there inside her head as her life starts to unravel. What really makes It Ends With Us powerful is how closely it reflects real life. Hoover has said the story was inspired by real experiences, and that honesty shows. The book openly portrays both physical and emotional abuse, helping readers understand why leaving an abusive relationship is so difficult. Ryle's behavior, being loving between episodes, blaming Lily afterward, mirrors real patterns psychologists talk about. Watching Lily wrestle with guilt, love, and self-blame gives readers insight into the complex mindset of abuse survivors. The novel also digs deep into trauma and healing. Both Lily and Ryle carry emotional scars. Lily from watching her mother suffer, and Ryle from his childhood accident. Lily's empathy for Ryle feels real. She sees his pain because it reflects her own. That shared trauma creates a dangerous pull, something therapists often point out in real relationships. Lily's gradual realization that understanding someone's pain doesn't mean accepting your own can be eye-opening. And then there's the ending. For many readers, it's a moment of real hope. Lily's final decision is often praised as a powerful example of breaking generational trauma. She chooses a safer future for her daughter and refuses to let history repeat itself. The message is clear and quietly feminist. Sometimes, loving someone means leaving. That idea has sparked conversations about boundaries, self-respect, and the courage it takes to choose a different path. In the end, it ends with us feels deeply human. Through Lily's honest, vulnerable voice, Hoover walks us through love, pain, and healing. We smile at Lily's small wins and ache with her in her darkest moments. By grounding heavy themes in everyday struggles, Hoover makes the story feel like a heartfelt conversation, messy, honest, and ultimately hopeful. Lily chose herself. She chose her daughter. She broke the cycle and stepped into a future she deserved. And maybe, just maybe, it's a reminder for all of us. Sometimes, love isn't about holding on. It's about having the courage to let go.